Good afternoon and welcome to this week Small Business Town Hall. I'm so glad that you're here. You're joining us for this conversation. We are celebrating a Small Business Week and had the opportunity to go and get my lunch today from a Small Business Ruby's right here. I want to thank Melissa and the team at Ruby. They're wonderful. If you haven't tried the chicken salad with the shop salad, you have to go there. Those are the best. So saying hello to Melissa and the team at Ruby. So we have to make sure that we support our small business community. So make sure you get out there and support the small business community around you. We have several topics we're going to talk about today. First of all, we're going to be hearing from Mark from the Small Business Administration. So Mark Hayward always has great information, good news. I think he has some good news that coming this week to share with us. Then we're going to be having a conversation with DLT Director Matt Weldon. Then we're going to hear from the Director of DVR, Director Liz Tanner. And then we're going to hear from Chris Parisi. Chris Parisi is going to tell us what he hears from the business community out there. So he's going to share information with us. So with that, Ben, why don't we bring Mark?
Hello, Governor.
Hi, Mark. It's great seeing you.
It's always great to see you, Governor. And yes, this is National Small Business Week. And everybody, I've had a couple of people say, wait a minute. I thought National Small Business Week was in May. Well, normally it is in May, but the last couple of years, because of COVID, it's been held virtually and it's been held in September. I'm sure that next year, hopefully, knock on wood, we'll go back to May. And you can access National Small Business Week events through www.sba.gov. And FYI, Governor, I'm not sure you were aware of this, but J-Lo is the keynote speaker today. Yesterday,
I didn't know that. I just saw that she posted something that she was doing with 10,000 small business in New York. So I said that, but I didn't know she was speaking today.
Yes, she is the keynote speaker today for National Small Business Week. Yesterday was Mark Cuban. Everybody knows Mark Cuban from Shark Tank in helping small businesses. So there's a lot of great information. There is actually there's a booth that the SBA have. One of my staff, Lana Glovac, staffed it yesterday for a couple of hours and giving small businesses a number of answers to questions, including on contracting and other issues. So if you have, and I know our small business community is very busy, but if you have a couple of minutes, just go into www.sba.gov, go to the Small Business Week site, and see what's there, because it may just help you in the long run. Now, having said that, Governor, we've had a little bit of change in a couple of things, and I'm pleased to announce the administrator announced on Friday that we are increasing the COVID idle loans to $2 million. Okay. So what does this mean? Well, first of all, it's a loan. It's at 3.75. It's for 30 years. And the first 2 years is deferred. And everybody says, okay, well, what happens with all of the interest payments on the first 2 years? Well, that's basically what we call force majeure, which means that they will go into the back of the loan. So the 30 years really does decrease the burden for the small businesses in their ability to repay. Now, they're saying, well, I want $2 million. And Governor, you and I had this discussion before, which is all very nice, but you have to show that your business actually did $2 million in revenue before. So, and I know that there are people, I talked to somebody this morning that had an idle loan. They had, I think, $375,000 at this point in time. They were looking for additional funds, and they certainly will qualify. So he said, do I apply again? No, you have to ask for an increase to the existing loan. Because remember, under the statute that was passed in the CARES Act, you can only get one COVID idle loan per establishment. So that means that this would basically be an increase. And looking at the overall numbers, for the loans from $500,000 to $2 million, the minimum credit score is going to be 625. So make sure that your credit is in line. If you're looking up to 500,000, the credit score is approximately 570. So, I mean, there are opportunities, but there are some changes to the COVID EIDL, and this is what's really important. You can pay down existing debt, be it SBA debt or other debt. Now, I've been here, I told you, Governor, since the Cowboys were running around. So I've never seen in my entire federal career where you can actually pay down not only existing debt, but federal debt. So this is something entirely new. It gives a small business the ability to do things that they couldn't do before. So the agency is going as far as we can to make sure that we keep our businesses up and running. We know that it's difficult. We know that there are some, people who are looking for additional help. On the grant side, Governor, that's basically gone by the boards. But there is this one economic injury disaster loan that you can get. If you got one, you can increase it. So we're just trying to get that message out, Governor, because it's really important. If you need the money, if you're having a problem, Ben, if you could just put up our district office website where they can send if they have questions, they can send it there, and we'll parcel it. Thank you very much, Ben. And we'll parcel it out to the staff. But Governor, we continue to do a lot of EIDL loans. As I said to you before, I'm getting a lot of calls. I got in this morning, I had 22 emails about EIDL issues, and we're trying to get through them.
Yeah, but just that it's so important. We have to remind everyone, we're talking about a loan.
Correct.
Not a grant, okay? And it goes up to $2 million, but you cannot come and ask us for $2 million if you don't have that in revenues on sales. So you have to make sure that you're asking for an amount that makes sense based on your business, right?
That's absolutely true. You have to be very specific. So if you have revenues of $750,000, you have an opportunity to ask for an increase. Because remember, we're looking at what is your revenue stream in order to repay this loan over a period of time. So the bottom line is, if you're looking for $2 million, you only did $750,000, Governor.
Yeah,
that math doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
So
doesn't work.
But if we can help, we will. And like I said, we're doing a tremendous amount of EIDL loans here. We did it. And the other thing I want to talk about, Governor, just briefly, because we're getting a lot of calls of people who did not receive the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. And I know that. That was handled in Washington. It was based upon a queue that kept coming in and the approval. We did $106 million, which is a pretty significant amount of money for restaurants. And we realized that some people did not get it. I know that all 4 members of our congressional delegation have signed on to bills to put additional funds in that, but it's kind of like in Washington, as you well know, it's kind of like the General Assembly. It's like making sausage. You don't like this. It's not pretty watching it, but hopefully in the end, something will happen. But the bottom line is those funds have been expended. If you're in need of money today and you're a business person, and you really should, and don't count on the fact that this Restaurant Revitalization Fund is going to be refunded. But if you truly need cash and you need to move forward, as you said, Governor, it's a loan. A loan is a loan, but it's at 3.75%, and that's pretty good when you look at the overall.
And also, it's really good that you're able to consolidate all the debts into this loan. So that is important.
That Governor, like I said, in my 40 years of federal service, I've never seen that before. And what we're trying to do is to keep things moving and keep people in a position where they can pay their existing loans. So I mean, there's a lot going on.
Okay. Thank you, Mark, for that information. Always a pleasure seeing you.
Oh, great to see you. And Governor, if you ever need me, you know where to get me.
Thank you. Great. So now, actually, before we move to the next director, I just want to remind everyone that this Saturday, we're going to have the Accessibility is Beautiful, and that is going to be at the Steel Yard. So Tina is waiting for all of you there, for all the business community to come. And you can go there and learn what you can do to make your business accessible. And Tina always says she can always write by your business and let you know what are the things that you can change to improve the accessibility in your business. So we'll see you on the weekend. It's going to be on Saturday the 18th. So make sure you go by the Steel Yard. It's the 27th Sims Avenue in Providence. Thank you, Tina, for everything that you do. Now, Ben, we're going to move to the Director of the Department of Labor and Training. Let's hear from Director Matt Weldon. Director Weldon, so good to see you.
Hi, Governor. I hope all's well.
Everything's good. Everything's good. So looking forward to hearing from you what had happened since the unemployment federal program ended, what is going on, and we said we were going to talk about what is the next phase for the Workshare program. So tell me.
Okay, so lots of changes. For some time since the beginning of these sessions, back when Governor McKee was Lieutenant Governor, we used to talk about all the changes in unemployment. And I'll just remind everybody briefly: unemployment is a temporary income support program. That means it's a program that's meant to provide help for people that find themselves out of work, usually due to no fault of their own. And it provides benefits for them until they find their next job, up to a maximum of 26 weeks, which is half of the year, maximum, with no extensions most of the time. There were extensions back during the recession, and then those went away. Then the pandemic hit, and the federal government created those new programs. And they created extensions on regular unemployment, and they also created a new pandemic unemployment program for self-employed people, for gig economy workers. And they added money into everybody's benefit payment. In the beginning of it was $600 a week, and then it went to $300 a week. So that was great, and it helped Rhode Island get through a very difficult time in our economy. And as we know in Rhode Island, when money goes into working families' budgets, it goes right back out into our small business community, right back into our economy. The governor did not want to pull away from those federal programs early, like other states did, more than half of the states in the country, because we knew that it was so important to keep families connected to these critical resources. So what does that extra money mean for Rhode Island's economy? It means that from March 9th of 2020 until the program ended last weekend on September 4th, we put out about $1.85 billion in the extra money alone into Rhode Island's economy. Yes. We also put about $3.8 billion total with that 1.85 of all those new programs into Rhode Island's economy. So it's a ton of money. We helped a lot of people.
Billions with a B. Yeah.
So here we are now. Things changed. Last week, about 57,000 people collected a payment. That may or may not seem like a lot to you, but just to remind everybody, in normal times, we have about 10 or 11,000 people on unemployment. That went up to over 125,000 people a week, and then started to come down to then when it got to 57,000. Of those 57,000, 46,000 dropped off of the payment system after last weekend. And those are the people that we're dealing with right now. We've been communicating on this forum every chance I get to do an interview in the media, on our website, on social media. And we've been telling people the benefits are coming to an end. We need to get you reconnected to the economy. So go to backtoworkri.com or go to dlt.ri.gov. Let us help you get your next job or job training. All these things we've been trying to do to help people, and I hope we can help them soon. Right now, there's a lot of people that are confused, and I'm hoping that we can help clear that up for them. But unfortunately, there are no extensions. We're back to the regular unemployment program. And if people have been collecting unemployment and they think now that they can just file a new claim, they're not going to be eligible, because unemployment is based on your earnings. And if you've been collecting for the last 15 months or 17 months, you don't have earnings to qualify for a new claim. So that's unfortunate. Let's help you. Go to backtoworkri.com. Thank you, Ben, for putting that up. We can get you connected to a job right away, connected with a career coach. You can attend a virtual job fair. Lots of stuff you can do. And finally, Governor, you asked me to talk about Workshare a little bit today. Yes. Workshare, Rhode Island has a model program for the country. Senator Jack Reed has touted this all over the country about why states should use this. And what it basically is a program that provides temporary benefits to people while their business has slowed down. And it's an employer-driven program. I'm going to take my glasses off for a minute so there's no glare. It's an employer-driven program where the employer says, I have a downturn in the economy right now that's going to be temporary. And by temporary, it can be months. It can be for a period of time. But we need to get people over this hump. We got to help our people. We don't want to lay them off because we've invested a lot in them, and we don't want to lose them as employees. They're good, hardworking employees. can we use Workshare? All Workshare does is say you can reduce your employees' hours by at least 10%, but up to 50%. So you could cut their hours in half, no more than that per the state law. But you can cut their hours in half. You pay them half of what you used to pay them. You still have to give them all their benefits. That's a requirement under the law. But you pay them half. The unemployment system will pick up some of the rest, a portion of the rest. And how much they get depends on how many hours were cut. And there's basically a formula that's used. But it allows people to stay connected to their employment. It gives them some income support when they need it. And it's different than regular unemployment. And I want to briefly explain that. When you file for unemployment, normally you have to every week request a payment, and you have to tell us how many hours you've worked, if you've worked at all. On Workshare, your employer does a lot of that work for you because you're part of a program. It's called a Workshare plan. And so your employer submits a biweekly payroll request, and we pay. So it's a little different, but there's a lot of information online, and Ben put it up right there. I was just going to say to please do that. And actually now I think you can even just go to dlt.ri.gov/Workshare, and that will get you there as well. There's a phone number. There's an email address. Email is always the best way to communicate with us just because we remain very busy. And just so you know how many people use it, typically a handful, 6, 7, 8 companies. During the pandemic, it got closer to 250 companies. Why do you think that happened? Obviously, the business slowed down, but also the federal government was paying for it at 100% of the cost. That changed when the pandemic programs ended. And it's going to go back to the way it always was, Governor, which is the unemployment system is paid for by employer taxes and employer contributions. So we charge employer accounts. And just like any other insurance program, the more you use it, the more it costs. It would cost you less on Workshare than regular unemployment because the claims are paying out less money, but you would pay the same way. But the program is here to stay. We are not getting rid of Workshare now or ever. It's a good program. It's strong. We still have 117 companies that currently have active plans. We think that's going to go down now that the federal government changed the funding. But we're here. We want to help. We encourage everybody to contact us.
Thank you, Director. I think this is such a great program because when I'm out in the community and I'm talking to a small business and they're telling me about that they're having challenges, and the one thing that says is, I don't want to lay off my workforce. We are like a family. I want to make sure I don't lose them. So this could be a good alternative for you. So take a look at the Workshare program. This could be a way that you can, when your business is not doing, is not as strong, you may be able to give kind of a partial layoff to your employees. That way you can make sure that they're going to come back, that you're going to still connect with them, and that you have a connection with your workers and you don't lose your workers, so you don't have to retrain a new set of workers. So please take a look at this program.
Please do.
Thank you, Director. Let me check with Ben. Do you have any questions?
I do not have any questions for Matt. Matt, good to see you. I like you without the glasses. I like you with the glasses. I like you without the glasses. There are no questions. However, I do just want to say that my dad worked in manufacturing, and the mill that he worked for took advantage of the Workshare programs a few years ago when they had some very lean times. And instead of laying off their workers, they were able to do that, and it helped them get through like the holidays and stuff. So it's an incredible program.
Well, thank you. That's what it's there for. That's exactly what it was designed for, but it works in other industries as well. We encourage everybody to check it out. I know that I saw something in a private chat about the link not working. One of the links worked. I used it earlier today. Just search it on a search engine, DLT Workshare, will come right up.
Yeah. And this could be a good option also for the restaurants, right, Matt, during the winter time? Because I have seen, does that work for them?
It can. Some restaurants, the problem is it would work better for those people that have a regular schedule and set hourly rate. With servers, it can be a little more difficult. But we're open to different ways to do it, and we're very happy to try to help.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for that feedback, Matt. And we're going to see you the next week when we get together here. So before we move to Director Tanner, just want a reminder, especially now that we're going from DLT to DVR, to all the business owners out there. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. We have a Delta variant out there. We have to remember that we have to continue to use our best judgment. For the small businesses, you should be having these protocols or cleaning protocols. Make sure that you have hand sanitizers available. If you feel comfortable, make sure that your business is welcoming to whoever desires to wear the mask. If this is an option anyone has, if they prefer to wear their mask indoor, they can do it. There are some specific businesses that require the mask, especially those that are in the health field area. But this is an opportunity that I want to remind all of the small business community that there's still a pandemic going on. There's still the Delta variant. And also, if you want to hear from the Department of Health, if you have a business association, you want to hear from them, they are available. They can stop by for your meeting and provide information and more details. So with that, I think this is perfect way for us to go to Director Tanner, because we're going to be doing a lot of visits, right, Director Tanner?
Yes, Governor. Thank you. And now that you spoke about what you just did, the Department of Business Regulation is actually still sort of the clearinghouse for questions. So whenever anybody wants to get information on all of the things that the Lieutenant Governor just spoke about, or we work very closely with the Department of Health, and they have generated some guides on what they consider the 4 most important categories for businesses. And of course, it would be vaccination and testing and masking, but they also have lots of information on ventilation. And that's not something that we had a lot about before.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are looking to get information on any of those or all 4 of those, you should feel free to call the DBR hotline down there below to let us know what you want, and we're going to pass that on to you. If you have more detailed questions that we can't answer, then we will work with Rido. But in the meantime, we can give you that information. And I know that that has been the most popular item of request, has been about ventilation, because a lot of people want to say, okay, we can't do as much as outside anymore. What do we need to do? And we have some good materials on that. So thank you for the opportunity to talk about that first. But what I was here to talk about today was the Lieutenant Governor and I are going to start doing a little bit of a road show. And we want to go out and we want to hear from business owners, whether it be in person or virtual. We're willing to do either, to hear what is going on and what you need and where you are and what the concerns are. It's something that was done a lot before COVID, and now that we're finally at least a little bit better and we can meet more often, and we have the ability to actually ask those questions. So we're coming back out to say, what are your concerns now in a post-pandemic or towards the end of a, hopefully, fingers crossed, pandemic? What do businesses need? We have a new administration. They care a lot about small businesses, and we really want to try to focus on what businesses' needs are. So we have a couple of events coming up. We're heading to the Newport Chamber of Commerce next week, followed by the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. We've got lots of other chambers of commerces, as well as some trade associations. And so we're going to come out and we're going to share some information with you about what's going on and what's available for businesses, because so many people don't know what the state actually does offer for businesses, as well as many of our resource partners and other governmental friends. But we really, really need to hear from you. Now is the time that we start pulling together our legislation, whether it's for new policies or new programs, as well as the changing of laws and regulations, ways to make it easier to do business. So all of those things are on board. We're also big fans of what have other states done? What have you seen be successful in other places? And so we would encourage you to either try to attend one of these sessions, or if you're a part of a group and you would like us to come and speak with you, we'd be more than happy to do so. So that's what I'm on here this week to talk about, is ventilation guidance, as well as feel free to relay those concerns to us. But if not, and you'd like to do something in person, have us come visit. Did I get that right, LJ?
Yes, you did. Thank you. And I'm so glad that Ben added the phone number. The hotline is right there, 401-889-5550. So make sure you contact DBR with any questions, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure to get an answer for your questions. So thank you so much, Director. Great seeing you, and looking forward to our visits to the different Chamber of Commerce and businesses.
Always a pleasure, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. So now we're going to go to Chris Parisi. Chris, how you doing?
Lieutenant Governor, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Really good, really good. Great seeing you. So we have a small business week I already got my lunch. I didn't run into you this time, but maybe tomorrow.
That's because you actually got lunch at an appropriate time this time.
Yes, that is true.
But I love how you're supporting small businesses. I mean, no matter what we can do from a government side, us as consumers, we can always support, go that extra mile, literally and figuratively, to support our local businesses as much as we can to collectively increase and help our economy. But when it comes to, hey, how are small businesses doing right now? To be honest, it's still a struggle. And that's because, this pandemic, like you said, we're in the middle of it still. And, I must say, after working with a lot of folks in the government, especially on the state level side, there's a lot of great people trying to help and really putting a great, honest effort into figuring out this very complex problem. And one of the top issues have been and still continue to be is hiring. Just finding enough workers to operate their business. I mean, even families are seeing it in the school systems, not even having enough bus drivers, for instance. And that's really difficult, right? Not having enough workers. And we were hoping maybe after, this federal program ended for the extra assistance that we would see some type of increase in hiring. And as we just heard from Director Weldon, we may see that, but we haven't seen that quite yet. But I do know Commerce and the governor's office, your office is looking for ways of how we can help workers, employers find employees and connect them, in addition to having existing solutions to go back to workri.com, which is it's just a great portal to start in, whether you're an employee or an employer. So that's one of the top issues is still hiring, but there's still a bunch of industries still struggling, and some of these micro industries we cannot forget about. For instance, little things that may be small to some of us, like homecoming in some towns being canceled. That was the lifeline for some small businesses that depended on things like that were just shut down. And what impact does that have? So we're looking to the municipalities to step up and help our small businesses in your towns. They're the ones that do have those federal funds ready and available to spend. I know right now in the state, it's being held up currently. I know the General Assembly wants to be part of the process, and we hope that the General Assembly also steps up and works with the governor's office and with our small business community in all of Rhode Island to utilize those federal dollars. But in the meantime, small businesses need help now. The municipalities do have some of those funds right now. So we urge all small businesses that have these issues, like I mentioned with the homecoming, to reach out to your council, your city council, your town administrator, your mayors, and say, hey, here's the situation I'm facing. What can you do to help us? Because we didn't ask for instance, homecoming to be shut down. We get it because we wanted to be COVID safe, but there's a ripple effect of these decisions that we have to be considerate of. And finally, Lieutenant Governor, obviously there was a lot of hoopla going around about the federal mandate, right? When it comes to 100 employees and more. In the coalition, a majority of our members are under that 100 employee stance. And what we say with that is we want Rhode Island to be safe. We're the 5th highest vaccinated state in the country. I mean, hats off to you, the governor's office and Department of Health and everyone that got us to that point. We want to continue to be one of the best states. But one part we do like out of that mandate is the ability to have testing accessible to small businesses. If we're able to easily and at no cost provide these testing solutions to small businesses, that will make the employees, the consumers, and the business owners feel more safe as well. It's a solution to not necessarily force a mandate if the small business owner feels that's not best for their business, while also ensuring that we're keeping things safe, wearing the masks where appropriate, and doing what we can collectively to fight this pandemic. Because we are seeing some positives, but it's not over, not at
No.
all. And we need to continue to fight and do what's right to help our Rhode Islanders and our small businesses.
Thank you, Chris. And you know what? We have to change this way how we talk about masks. And it would be great to see that the small businesses could have a sign that says "Mask Welcome" here. You know, so we're not putting a mandate, but if you encourage people that it's okay if you want to wear your mask. So let's do everything we can to control this pandemic. And everything that we can do it helps. So if any additional person that we can get vaccinated, it helps a lot. Any additional person that we can get to wear the mask, just by making sure that we let them know that in our businesses, they're welcome. So they don't feel like they're not going to be welcome if they have their mask. I think we have to put a positive message about how we talk about wearing the mask out there.
Agreed, very much. Everything we can do, every little thing adds up.
Yes.
So, the more we can do together and encourage mask wearing, we're not necessarily, we're forcing you, but hey, we're encouraging you and we're welcoming you. You don't have to feel embarrassed to wear the mask coming into a small retail shop, for instance. So, everything we can do together, we can continue to be one of the best states in the country when it comes to vaccine rates and hospitalization rates. But that doesn't mean we can let our guard down, because if we do that, the small business community is going to be in a whole heap of trouble, heading into Q4, as we're already struggling just to survive today. So we appreciate the focus that yourself, Lieutenant Governor, the governor's office, and other state agency have on our small businesses, and we're hoping that we can see some substantial changes in efforts and funds and technical assistance for our small businesses that need help now. We can't wait towards 2022, and I have the feeling that some folks in the General Assembly feels that's okay. I'll just speak on behalf of small business owners. It's not okay. We need definitely help now, and we appreciate you having us on this forum to represent small businesses.
Thank you, Chris. And as you said, it's important for the small business community to reach out to their local elected officials. Make sure that you know who are the local elected officials that represent the area where you live and the area where your business is located. So make sure you reach out to both, starting from the city council, the town level, going all the way to the General Assembly, the reps and senators. It's very important to you, for your business, for you to know who represents you, who's making decisions about the things that are going to be affecting your family and your business. So make sure you get to know who is representing you.
Well said. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you so much, Chris. Always good seeing you. So Ben, with that, I just have to say to all our listeners and everyone that connected today, thank you for connecting. This was a great conversation. I can't wait for the next one that we're going to have. And actually, I just want to make sure that we have the correct day for the next one. Is going to be on September 28th. September 28th, we're going to be back together here. In the meantime, if you have any questions or anything that my office can assist you, please reach out. Ben and Billy have been putting the contact information in the chat. Make sure you reach out to our office and let us know if there's anything that we can help you with. We are here to help you and to serve you. With that, enjoy the rest of the day.